Hi friends, it's Meridy here with Not Just for Boys Kit Club, and today I am going to give you the instructions for the kit called Party Time, which is one of our Not Just for Boys page kits. And first I'm going to tell you what's going to come in your kit. So the first thing you're going to get in your kit are these 9 applique stars that are kind of glittery. And you're going to get 1 package of Pretty Little Studio die cuts. And these are super cute. Vintage little kid die cuts, little characters at birthday parties. So they're really cute. There's a 25 of them in there. So you're going to get a package of those, 25 pieces. You're going to get a jar of Not Just for Boys Party Time sequin mix, which has like little candies and stuff, and it coordinates with all the papers. Oh, I'm making a mess. You're going to also get 1, let me scoot this all over, 1 chipboard sticker sheet from Simple Stories, and it comes with 25 different chipboard stickers on it. And you're going to get the following papers: 1 piece of Celebrate All the Cake paper from Simple Stories, 1 piece of Summer Market Designer Solids from Cartabella. It's red on one side and like a coral color on the other. 1 piece of Simple Stories Celebrate Woohoo paper. That's the B side. 1 piece of Echo Park Bark paper from the line Bark, and it's called Puppy Plaid. I just thought the plaid looked really good with this line, even though it's from a puppy line. 1 piece of Echo Park Summertime Designer Solids paper. It's light blue on one side and dark blue on the other. And 2 pieces of white 12 by 12 cardstock, which will serve as the base of your layout. So you're also going to get a sheet of instructions in your kit. And on the back of the instructions, there are cutting guides, and it's going to tell you exactly how to cut all these papers down. So that's the first thing that you're going to do, is refer to your instructions and cut all these papers to the sizes laid out on the cutting guides. And I'm going to do that right now, and I will be right back. All right, I have all my papers cut, and as you may know from watching previous videos of mine, instead of using the actual photographs in my videos, I use these papers to represent the photographs. So these are 4 4x6 landscape photos, but they're actually trimmed down a little. They are really 5 3/4 by 3 3/4. I just trimmed 1/4 inch off of 2 sides of the photo because they're easier to fit on the page like that. So you want to trim your 4x6 photos to 3 3/4 by 5 3/4 inches. And we're going to start on the left-hand side of the layout, putting this together. And what we're going to start with is a white sheet of paper for our base, and this little strip of the plaid paper. And the first thing that you're going to do is put adhesive down half of that strip and place it underneath the white paper so it kind of makes a border. It doesn't matter how far you have it sticking out. Just get it on there straight. And then what you're going to do from here, because of course this made your layout be longer than 12 inches now. So you're going to take, let me move all of my goodies. You're going to take your trimmer and measure 12 inches and cut the excess off of the white side. So you're going to cut just as much off of this, basically, as what that is. But that way you'll have it exactly 12 inches. And you're going to save this strip because you're going to need it. And the first thing you're going to do is cut this strip. I use decorative edge scissors, and I cut it so it's about 1/3 inch wide, maybe. It's a little bigger than 1/4 inch because 1/4 inch gets really hard to work with. But I just basically cut this white strip in half with my decorative edge scissors. You could also tear it if you don't have decorative edge scissors and give that little torn effect, or you could just simply cut it straight. You don't need to decorate the edge. You could ink the edge maybe if you cut it straight to make it pop a little. So you've got this little piece, and then this little tiny strip of glue, which you cut in your cutting guides, and it's just about the same size as the white piece that we just cut. You're going to do the same thing to that and cut the decorative edge scissors or whichever technique that you use all the way down. Okay. And if you would prefer to use the navy side, you can, or you can use the light blue side. I'm going to use the light blue side. And then I'm just going to adhere this down with a little adhesive right alongside the plaid paper. I left a little white gap in between, if you could see that, because we're going to put this piece in there too, and I didn't want to cover all the plaid up. So I just left a little gap of white there. And then we're going to put this white scalloped edge right overlapping. And it covers up that little gap as well. Okay, so now we've got your side. And then the next thing you're going to do is adhere this red paper, or you can use the coral side. That's the beauty of these double-sided cardstocks. You could use either side. And I adhere it right about here. I just left about a little tiny space right there between the scallops. And then you're going to go ahead and adhere all three of your pictures. We did trim them down, so they should fit nicely now with borders. Adhere all three of your pictures down. I like to adhere the top one first, the bottom one second, and that way the middle one can be right in the middle with those same margins on the top and the bottom. So they look even. Okay, so that is fairly simple. And that is the base of the left-hand side of your layout, and everything from here on out is embellishment. So we will start with getting out these chipboard stickers, and they are very easy to punch out of this and keep the back on them, so it's not, the adhesive isn't exposed. You know, it's just got the peely part still on it, like you can peel it off when we're ready. So for now, we're just going to lay them down though, because I want to get everything laid out and not stuck down before I start adhering. So we're going to use the hooray, the yay yay, yeah yeah, yay yay, I don't know what it says. Yay yay, I guess. A pink star. The stars are a little harder to not rip off the adhesive backing, but they're not super sticky, and I like to put adhesive on them anyways, so I'm just gonna kind of lay the stars on the page even if they don't pop out with the adhesive backing on them. And a teal star down there, and one of these little navy stars goes right here. I think that's all for this. Yep. Okay, we'll put this off to the side. And next we're going to grab these fabric applique stars. And I used one of each color on this side, so red, yellow, and teal. I'm just gonna set them off to the side because they're kind of the top layer. And then we can use some of these vintage die cuts, and my pictures were of a girl's birthday, but if it was a boy's birthday, you could do this in the opposite way. I tucked the little kiddo under here. If you were doing a boy birthday page, you could probably trim the little girl off and tuck him like that, but I would trim her off so you can't see her head. But for this layout, I am going to keep her showing. And then there's another little boy that you can use if you're doing a boy layout for up here. but I used a little girl with a blue dress somewhere in here. She's buried. There are so many super cute little vintage die cuts in here. So I'll use her up there. Actually, I think I'm gonna do this using boys, so that way you have an example to look at using boys. Let me see, I'm just gonna trim him straight in half. And you know what? I might put him here, and I'm gonna show you how to adjust him. Okay, and then the little boy up here. I'm gonna kind of put his feet down low. Okay, that way you've got an example with a little boy and a little girl. Then I've got a blue heart there and a red heart here. I've got a little piece of cake here. I've got a little cake on a pedestal over here. And that might be all of these die cuts. I'll put them off to the side just in case. And then we're gonna come to our cake paper. And I'm gonna cut out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cakes and 1 piece of cake on a plate and 2 cupcakes. I'll cut that cupcake and this cupcake. And the 6 cakes I'm gonna cut, I'll cut this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'll cut those 6 right down in this bottom corner. And I'm gonna cut those out in the cupcakes and the cake and the piece of cake, and I will be right back. Alrighty, I've got my cakes cut. So I'm going to put this one down here. This polka dotted one up here. I'm just generally laying these out right now. I realize that some of them are overlapping funky, but I will fix it. I will fix it in a minute when I go to adhere things down. Oop. I'm gonna put one of these guys up here. And then I did realize that I'm missing a sticker from the chipboard stickers. I forgot to grab this cake down here. All right, and now we can set these stars in here. So everything is generally laid out in the way that I want it to be. And I'm going to start adhering things down. And you know, I might slightly tweak where I've got something sitting when I'm officially adhering this down. And I don't want to keep anything adhered close to the bottom of this hooray, because we're gonna put a big thing of thick sequins there. So this is okay to butt up against it, but I'm not even gonna adhere this star yet because I'm gonna adhere that on the top. But I'm going to adhere everything else, and I'm gonna leave a little space under there. I don't want anything else besides this banner really close to that. So I'm gonna do this all off camera, and I do add adhesive, liquid adhesive, glossy accents to the back of the chipboard so that they adhere really well. And I'm gonna do that and get it all adhered down, and I'll be right back. Alrighty friends, I have all of these embellishments adhered down except for these star appliques. I like to use Eileen's tacky glue to adhere those down because it just seems to work quicker and better on fabric than my glossy accents. And like I said, I'm not going to adhere this one quite yet. So what I'm going to show you first is how I adhered all of these sequins. So basically what I did, you can lay them out first if you want, but it will never look the same. Like if you lay them out and then have to glue and then try to lay them out exactly the same, it will never look the exact same. So I am just gonna go ahead and put a fairly wide, but not super goopy and thick strip of Eileen's tacky glue across here. So although it's, you know, fairly wide, it's not like a huge thick line of gloppy glue. And then we're essentially gonna sprinkle these like sequins. And it's fine that they're going all over because they're only gonna stick to the glue. I'm gonna push it down pretty good. And it's just random, guys. Like, it is what it is. And we're gonna tilt this up and brush them off. And this is what we're left with. And it looks pretty good. Let me move some of this out of the way so I can lay my paper back down. Now you'll see some things got a little stuck with under these letters, under this die cut, because these go everywhere. Some are a little staticky and just sticking on here, even where there's no glue. Now, there might be a couple layers that just, I'm gonna get a couple of those to fall off. I'm gonna need to get some tweezers and pull this one out. But other than that, all these guys are pretty stuck down pretty good. That's how you do that. And then we're gonna go right on top with this star. So I am gonna peel a couple off. They don't need to be quite that. It's gonna get covered up right there. And since the glue is still wet, I can go ahead and peel them off in this one little area. And then I'll glue this little star down. You can't even tell that I picked off some of the sequins. Oh. Okay, this one is gonna bother me. I'm gonna get tweezers and pull that out right now. Got it. All right, so this is good for this left-hand side of the layout. Let me move this out of the way. And now we're gonna start working on the right-hand side of the layout. Alrighty, for the right-hand side of the layout, we are again going to grab the piece of white cardstock that's going to be the base of this layout. And we're going to grab the 1 4x6 photo, and if you want, you could use more photos on this page. There's plenty of paper. This piece of blue with navy on the back is going to be used to mat your photo, and there's obviously plenty left over to do more than just 1 4x6 photo. But for this video and for my layout, I just used 1 4x6 photo. So we're gonna mat that and trim it. So now we've got that matted. And then you're going to get this piece of paper that you fussy cut underneath that banner, and this red piece, and this blue piece. This is gonna go at the top. This is gonna go at the very top. So this is approximately how this layout comes together, but I'm going to show you how we do this. So if you want, okay, you've got this strip of blue and the strip of red. You're gonna put this on it and basically trace where you've cut this paper. So trace and then cut on the trace lines. I am not going to trace for this video, and I'm not gonna make it jaggedy. Whoop. Maybe I am gonna trace it for this video. I am going to trace it, but I'm not gonna cut it to the exact shape. I'm just going to cut like a big scoop down like that. I'm gonna cut the blue piece and the red piece like that. And if you want, you could use the back sides. It's up to you. I'm gonna stack them on top of each other and cut that swag that is just about the same kind of little swag, the same shape as what we've got in this paper. I hope that makes sense what I'm saying. Cut this up so I don't have to fight it. And I'm gonna continue here. Okay, so we've got these 3 layers that are the same shape at the bottom. Do you see what I mean? That's how we kind of just cut them. And now, if you have fringe scissors, they will come in very handy right now. If you don't have fringe scissors, you may want to just leave it just like this. Or if you don't have fringe scissors, you can actually use your scissors and just cut individual fringe pieces like this. And just cut them very close together. There may be like that. And actually you don't have to cut it all the way across because a picture is going to sit in the middle. You're just going to cut about, this is a 6-inch picture, so you're going to cut about 3 inches on this side and 3 inches on that side. And we don't want to cut it all the way across because it gets super bumpy underneath where the picture lays if we cut all this way. So we'll do the same thing here, just about 3 inches. And then about 3 inches from this side. And the same thing on the red one. And you don't need to cut all the way to the top. I only cut a little bit of this. I made some of these cuts, these spaces between the scissors too wide. Okay, and now we're going to adhere this piece to the back. And you can adhere it all the way up to the top, or you can drop it down just a little bit from the top. But I'm just going to adhere mine all the way to the top. Okay, and then the next we're going to adhere the blue, and I didn't put adhesive on this fringe. So next we will adhere the blue, and I'm just putting my adhesive on that straight edge. And I'm tucking it up under these fringe pieces. So it's sticking out about the same, the same amount underneath there. Looks pretty even. And then I will do the same with this red paper. And actually, guys, my fringe scissors are not real fringe scissors from a scrapbook section. I found them at a thrift store, and I think they are used for cutting like spices from your garden, like oregano and stuff. I think they're gardening scissors to cut like when you grow herbs and spices. Okay, then we're going to adhere the picture down right in the center. And you're going to want to do this first before messing with this fringe. Now we can mess with this fringe, and we can kind of fold it and bend it and fluff it and fringe it so it looks like it's fringe and windy in that there. Okay, so we've got that fringe. Next thing that we're going to want to do is add fringe to this strip of light blue paper. And I am just barely cutting the fringe up a little because I don't want it to be super long on the top. So I'm barely putting any in there. And I am actually going to trim this piece a little thinner because it's kind of large right now. So I'm going to trim a little bit off of this end to make it just be not quite so big at the top. Okay, and then I'll adhere this down. I cut this a little crooked, so I'm going to tape it a little crooked because it'll be covered up with this piece of red. But I'm gonna try to correct my mistake there. And then this piece of red, I scalloped. And it's just a real thin, really, really thin scallop in the red. And again, all of these papers that we just are adding fringe and scallops to right now, they're double-sided with the different color on the back side. So and they all match the paper, both sides match the paper. So if your pictures coordinate better with the other side, then use the other side. Oh, this is super, super thin. It might not even cover up my whole mistake down there. Okay, I'm gonna trim that little bit of white off that's showing at the top, just because I don't want it to show. Sometimes it's hard to get things exactly the way you want them, especially when you're working with such thin pieces of paper. So I'm gonna trim that white that's showing. Okay, so much better. I cleaned up the top a little. Now we can make this fringe, fold it and manipulate it and bend it how we want it. It's so much easier to do all this folding of the fringe after it is adhered to the paper. Okay. Good. Now it's time to add embellishments. So we are going to use this happy birthday banner. It's a big swag that says happy birthday. And again, I'm going to try to keep the sticky off. I'm just punching the stickers out with the backing attached, so it doesn't actually stick down quite yet. We're going to put the birthday cake there, a present here. We're going to get a little blue star down here, another blue star up here, a red star up here, and a yellow star up here, and both birthday hats. One we'll put there, and one we'll put here. Okay, I think that's about all. We did a good job using a lot of this one, but these can be used for another layout because you have lots of scraps left too of this paper, and I actually made a double page layout out of the scraps already. I'll show you guys that on Facebook. I wanted to use all these little kids somewhere in here saying holding up the happy birthday banner, but it kind of blended into the background to me, so I just matted it on a scrap of the red paper. I just matted those kids, so I will do that and just cut it out off camera in a minute, but for now I'm not gonna make you watch me fussy cut that carefully right now. We'll pretend like I'm just laying everything out for us right now. And then we've got a couple hearts here, possibly a piece of cake. Here's the little piece of cake. Here's a little pink heart. There's also an orange heart. You know, you've got lots of little doodads to mess with, some lollipops, but I just used those couple things on this side. And let's see, I did use one of each, another one of each color of these applique stars. So a red, a yellow, and an aqua. And then you have some extras that you can use with your leftover pieces. And I put the aqua one up here and the yellow one and then the red one down here. So I'm going to adhere these embellishments. I'm not going to adhere these two quite yet, but I'm going to adhere the rest. And I will be right back. Okay guys, I've got everything adhered except for these two little guys. And we're gonna do the same exact thing we did on the last page with this glue and put kind of a wide strip of glue, but not super goopy. So it's wide, but not incredibly goopy and Otherwise the paper will start, you know, warping. It's not pretty. Okay, so we've got kind of a wide strip. So a lot of sequins will adhere to that. And then we will sprinkle just like glitter. Ooh, this is like the fun part. And then push it down so it sticks pretty good. Uh-oh, I moved some off the glue. Don't go too crazy pushing, otherwise you'll do what I just did and move all the glue around. I'll let that sit for just a few seconds. And then you can add journaling down here or even journaling strips up here. You can even add journaling on the other page and date, because I like to add journaling to all my layouts, but sometimes I don't journal on my layouts when I post pictures of them online. Oh, apparently those two stars were not adhered down yet either. Okay. I'm just gonna scooch these off to the side while I kind of manipulate what's left here. Oh, so cute. Okay. And then we can now adhere this little birthday cake. And a little star. These applique stars adhere best, I feel, with Eileen's tacky glue, like I said earlier. Apparently these were not adhered down up here, so we'll do that really quickly. I kind of overlapped them over the little ties of the hats because I didn't care for the ties on the hats too much. The little elastic neck piece on the hat. Okay, and then what I did is I just put a couple little pieces of sequins like it's falling. Just do that. Kind of easily pick them up here. 1, 2, just to make a little more interest right there. I just did that. And then this side of the layout is also done. So I'm going to slide that right over here. And I'm going to grab the left-hand side. And set it right here so you can see both sides of the layout together. Now these can go in your album next to each other just like this, or they can stand alone as 2 separate pages. I try to do that with most of the page kits because I know some of you prefer to scrap a double page spread and some of you prefer to scrap 12 by 12 pages. So this layout can work either way easily. So I'm going to put some still pictures at the end of this video and some close-up shots of these embellishment clusters. They are also, there's a still picture of this layout on the bottom of your instructions. And then there are more pictures of this layout plus the one that I made with the little girls instead of the little boys and with my photographs, and those are going to be on our website under the listing for this page kit, which was called Party Time. And even after the page kit sells out, we still leave the listing up there because it has a bunch of pictures that you can refer back to when you're making these layouts. So thank you guys. I really had fun with this one. There's lots of leftover pieces and sequins and die cuts to make more layouts, and we would love it if you shared your work on our Facebook community group called Not Just for Boys Kit Club Community, and our design team will also be sharing layouts they made using these same supplies but in their own unique layouts. They didn't make them following my page kit. So watch us there and you can see those layouts too. Have a great day. Bye.